Hey Leo, welcome to your March 1st through the 15th, 2017 Tarot Oracle with a little bit of astrology reading. My name's Mimi. I'm with Divination by Mimi, and this is for the sign of Leo. Now, this is a general reading for Leo, so if the messages don't really match up with what you've got going on in your life, perhaps a private reading would be better, something that's more attuned to you or questions that you have in your life. If that's the case, if you'd like to do something like that, feel free to email me at the email address you'll find in the description box below. Okay? Astrologically, there's not a lot going on in your sign until in your constellation, right on the 8th, the moon enters Leo. So there'll be a focus on emotions. You'll be a little bit more emotional than you normally are. The moon will be in your sign through, let's see when it leaves. Oops. It will have departed from your constellation and go into Virgo by the 11th. So from the 8th to the 10th, you'll be feeling, around the 8th and the 10th, you might be feeling, some a little bit more emotion, a little bit more passion. Perhaps you'll be getting more spiritual messages than you normally do. The moon's about intuition. It's about things that are hidden. So you might be feeling something along those lines. Now, the sun, your ruler, is in Pisces at the moment, and it will be for the duration of this reading, the 1st through the 15th. And in Pisces, it's not necessarily the happiest there. Well, let me put it this way. Some of the things about the constellation of Pisces and the planets that are in there right now and their rulers are not exactly in alignment with the sun. So the sun is very much about you, the self-expression, and that is definitely Leo. That's why it's your ruling planet. Leo is I will. That's your motto. I will. So you're about creativity, about expression, about assertion of the self. Not in a bad way, just I'm here. This is what I think. And you're the you're ruler by divine right. King of the jungle, queen of the jungle. That's the Leo. Okay. Now, some other aspects that beyond the moon that you might be feeling, with the sun being in Pisces, again, not always the best feeling for you, kind of murky there for you, kind of slowed down energy. So this is, again, the emotions might come up even more so when the moon goes through your constellation over through the 8th and the 10th, 8th through the 10th. But with the sun being in Pisces, you'll be feeling the influences of Neptune, very dreamy, um, kind of escapist planet. Also in there you have Chiron, which is the wounded healer. And right now you have Mercury. At the beginning of this month, you'll have Mercury in there. So, the sun is not necessarily about this kind of internal, emotional introspection. It's not necessarily a bad placement. It's just something that's kind of foreign to you because you know who you are and you express who you are on the regular. So you'll feel some of that energy. In addition, you'll be feeling something that's a little more familiar to you. So Mars in Aries and then Mars moving into Taurus, along with Uranus, is a lot of, especially in opposition as it is for most of the first part of this month with Jupiter. It's a lot of very big, fast-moving energy, expansive, and unpredictable at that. So these are feelings that you kind of are comfortable with. I don't know about the unpredictability, but I think that you are comfortable with action, whatever, in whatever form that is, expression in whatever form that takes. So Mars on the move, Mars in Aries with Uranus is definitely something that feels about right to you. In fact, I believe that you are exalted in Aries, or it's the other way around. I'll have to check on that. But now there's some other things you're going to feel. We have a full storm moon on the 12th, about 10:54 in the morning Eastern Standard Time on the 12th of March. And then also Venus will be going retrograde on the 4th of March. And that will be the case until the 15th of April, tax day. So this is about things like value, beauty, relationships, relating to other people, the things that are close with Venus, things that are related to you as well. So you might have a feeling where when she goes retrograde around the 4th, less focus on interpersonal relationships, less focus on cosmetic things, aesthetic things, less focus on that and more focus on fast-moving, active thinking energy, creative energy. Not to say Venus is not creative, it's just it's slowed down a little bit, whereas the activity of Uranus and Mars and Aries and moving into Taurus is something that's much more comfortable for you. So you might feel when she goes retrograde a little bit more of that natural pull that you have for self-expression away from excessive emotions, excessive interrelatability, more about full-on expression, action. All right, and that's about all I have to say about astrology. Let us get into your tarot. I'm using the Thoth deck for you, Leo. And I'm going to be doing a 3 cards pull based upon the top of the Kabbalistic tree of life. This would be the supernal triangle, which is made up of 3 sephira. They include Keter, Chokmah, and Binah. This will represent for us the superconscious, conscious, and subconscious mind. Okay, or in other words, what God wants you to know, what's on your mind, and that stuff that's not always so clear that comes through dreams, coincidences, symbols, visions, things like that we see every day. One more. We've got the card sheets for clarifiers as well as 2 types of runes if needed. All right, what does Leo need to know? What is super consciousness, spirit trying to tell you? What do you need to know for the 1st through the 15th, Leo? I think Aries had that too. Okay, so the first two cards that came out were the Devil, and that is in the superconscious position. This is God talking to you, wanting to bring your attention to something. In your conscious mind, there's a fight going on. You have got the it's actually Mars in your zodiac sign, Mars in Leo. So this is a 7 of Wands. This is called Valor. It's basically about fighting the good fight. 7s belong to Netzach, so it's and that is ruled by Venus. So this is about a passionate fight, something you feel very, very strongly about. Okay, and this is on your mind. Consciousness is to wanting you to be aware of. Well, it's ruled by. I'll get into that just a second. Let me get all the tech cards out first before I start jumping in. This is very interesting. What does the subconscious want you to know? What kind of there we go. Okay. So here's the arrangement. Superconscious, God talking to you. Conscious mind, what's on your mind, what's taking up your thoughts and your energy right now. And subconscious is the way that they're trying to communicate to you, the way that God source or superconscious is trying to communicate with you. The subconscious, dreams and things like that. Okay, so in the superconscious, there's a bit of a warning here. So the devil isn't always the devil. It's ruled by Saturn as Capricorn. This is Capricorn's card, ruled by Saturn. Okay, this is about putrefaction, purification, discipline, and this is foremost in Spirit's communication to you. Is a reminder of whatever this goal is, or fight, or passion, or relationship, but I'm thinking more of a project. It's either a fight or something you're battling for, or some kind of project. As it relates to this, the message that Source is giving you is remember discipline. So Capricorn and Saturn are all about discipline, perfection, perfecting, not perfection, but perfecting, constant improvement. Okay, there's the goat of Saturn, the goat of Capricorn. It's kind of a phallic symbol, and it is, in fact, these are bollocks. The testicles in it have forms of humans and also forms of chromosomes. This is Lady Frida Harris's artwork. It's just so thorough, so tremendous. The rings of Saturn are at the top of the phallus. The horns of the goat go off into the heavens, conductors of universal energy, of source God energy. Basically, what this is reminding you is that in every endeavor, and this is not a hard thing for Leo to catch on to. Leo is very accustomed to discipline, because when you have a passion for something, when there's something you are putting your energy into, again, here we have the Seven of Wands. That's hot, hot fire. That is Mars in Leo. So that's fast moving, hot paced, fast energy in Leo. And there's a slight bit of conflict, just a little bit. It's an odd number. It's in that suck. So there's a slight bit of agitation to the activity, which is what makes it a bit of a fight. You're holding on to something here. You're making a point. You're proving a point. You are holding fast to an ideal, a project, a concept. You might be getting some resistance on it, and we'll address that in a second. You've got 2 sevens here and 1 major arcana. The lesson here that universe, that spirit is telling you is major arcana. This has to be learned. This has to be addressed. This perfection, this need, this requirement that it's asking you for this fight and for all fights to come, for your evolution. This is important, and it's particularly being brought to the fore here as it relates to this situation. Again, this is March 1st through the 15th. Some kind of fight, some kind of something that you might be feeling some resistance on, some kind of idea or dream, relationship, creative project, job, ideal. You're getting some resistance on it, but the fight is there. The fire is there to hold it. You're holding your own, okay? In that fight or in that endeavor, Spirit is reminding you that you're overall, you need to keep in mind that things are being manifested in Malkuth through constant pruning, constant changes, constant improvements, discipline, the very nature of Saturn, the very nature of Capricorn, and something you're very accustomed to. So when you're fighting this, make sure that you don't get overtaken too much by Mars energy. Mars is fast and conflicting. It's a war god, right? So in your sign, not to say that you're a warring person, but you're a fire sign. Fire loves fire and it feeds fire. Mars is fire too. So make sure you're fighting for the right thing, and make sure you're fighting in the best way. Whatever resistance you're meeting here, don't let the Mars energy overtake and overinflame the situation. And remember the Saturn energy of perfection. So as you engage in, let's say there's verbal arguments. I'm just throwing out a possibility. If you're arguing a point, say it's court, and you're arguing your case, think carefully about your argument. If you are pushing, let's say you're a legislator, you're pushing forth legislation, or you are pushing through for a promotion, or pushing through at work for a project to get started, trying to get a record deal, trying to get a contract with a movie studio, I don't know, some endeavor. When you're pushing, make sure that you are perfecting the use of your energy. Be wise in the use of your energy. Perfect and use discipline in that use of that energy. Because even though you're Leo and you have a fiery nature and fiery energy and a spark to spare, why use it ineffectively and inefficiently, right? Why assert the will in an ineffective and inefficient way? That's what Spirit is imploring here, is that you bring in that discipline. Like in Casino, remember there was, what was it, Nikki and Ira. This is telling you to be a little more Ira than Nikki. And this Mars energy is making you, was it Nikki? Was that his name? I can't remember. You know, Joe Pesci's character. The Mars energy is kind of pushing toward the Joe Pesci character. Ira is the Saturn energy. This is the Capricorn energy. Slow your roll a little bit. Okay? The instinct is going to be there to, and it's feeding it too. Mars is feeding it. It's in your sign. Whatever fight this is, the desire is there to push through. But be Ira. Okay? I'm talking about Casino. If you don't know what I mean, be careful. Be thoughtful. Have discipline. Think before you act. Think before you react. So over here in the subconscious mind, we are getting the Seven of Discs in reverse. The Seven of Discs is called failure. I don't really like failure because I think of it more as delayed success. But basically what you're feeling, what subconscious is calling you to make sure is that you keep a good balance. Okay, this card is Saturn in Taurus. Okay, we have Saturn here, right? And then we have Saturn here again in this card. Okay, when you implore too much Saturn, then you bog down to an absolute crawl of a pace. Nothing gets done. So this is sort of asking you, subconscious is asking you to use a balance. Okay, this is your energy right now, and especially as with Mars and its placement with Uranus, as it relates to this activity that you've got going on, the instinct is going to be there to move fast and act quickly. And consciousness superconscious is not telling you not to do that. It's asking you to do that in a disciplined and efficient manner. Okay, but there is a balance. You can't be all this. You've got to have some of this too. Elsewise, you end up over here, sort of in the muck of Saturn, which is things are so stable and so disciplined that nothing moves and nothing gets done. Okay, I'm hoping that makes sense. So let's do some cartouche here. Oh, sorry, this is going long. I can't shut up. I just want to get some clarification on this. I think this is pretty clear. I've talked it to death, but and also the energy with your ruling planet being in a sign and a constellation with other planets that don't really are kind of foreign energy to you. You might feel it kind of like running in water. It's kind of like what you're feeling like right now because Neptune is about water. When you run in water, things move more slowly. They're sluggish. And you tend to overexert to make up for that resistance. Make sure you're not overexerting. And if you do overexert, make sure you're using logic and thought and rationale. All right. Come on, cartouche. What do we need to know here? What's that about? What's that failure or over Saturn, over density? In Taurus. Saturn in Taurus. What does this mean? All right. More, I'm just taking it off the top. All right. Okay. Yeah. Set is the bad guy. So in the Egyptian cartouche, this Set is ruled by Saturn. Set, Saturn, Satan. Anyway, when people look at the Set card in cartouche, it's delays, okay? And that's explaining a lot. Let me get a drink of water real quick. So that analogy I was using just a moment ago where I was talking about how it feels when you're running in water, there's a need or a feeling to over-exert yourself to make up for the restriction you're feeling. That's Saturn. Saturn is that restriction you're feeling. Saturn's the gravity. Saturn is the reverse momentum that you feel as you're trying to, just as an example, run through water. And you're going to feel like it's a failure. However, if you do not keep a balance between, and this is the warning, okay? And Set's definitely the warning. If you do not keep this energy, this reactive energy in check with discipline and thought, and it seems boring, but a little bit of slow moving activity, slowing things down to really analyze it. Not overanalyze it, but it needs to be balanced here, okay? If you don't, then we're talking about worse obstacles. If you keep it balanced, you'll be fine. This is failure in reverse, which is in basically the release of failure. It's moving on to something better. Delayed success, perhaps even more. And if you let this get the better of you rather than employing the discipline that Spirit is telling you you have to employ during this incarnation, it's important that you do it. You don't have a choice. When it's a major arcana, it's on the table whether you like it or not. You will learn it one way or another, now or later, but you will learn it. Might as well learn it now to avoid any setbacks, any delays that Set is warning you of now. Because a knee-jerk reaction to anything would cause nothing but problems. And I don't think I need any further clarification. I think that's pretty clear. All right, so I hope this helped. I'm really sorry yours was so long. It's very interesting, though. So again, if you'd like a personal reading, please email me at the email address in the description box below. If you have questions, please put them in the comment section below. If I do not hear from you individually, then I will be uploading a full moon video on the 12th or just before the 12th, and elsewise I will see you for next, the middle to the end of March's readings for Leo. Okay, and until then, you take care.